maximum. That is frequency 723, which is considered static.
Thank you for calling Reliable Parts. This is Sherry. How may I help you?
Hi, Sherry. I need to get a parts number and location for a main control board, Samsung dishwasher. The model number is going to be Delta Whiskey 80 Romeo 7060 Umbrella Sierra. You're going to have a problem. So you want to stop that problem before it occurs. And also the interface control. It doesn't need it, but just in case. We all have our jobs to do.
Okay.
The best part of this is observation. And first contact is the first impression you get. And she is ready. She has gotten her research about this problem completely down. And she's going to teach me some things. I understand. I'm here to assist.
Well, looky here. Display. Oh, it's coming on. I'm happy. Yeah. It's still a pleasant experience. Knowing the information is what makes it pleasant. Because now you have control. Delay hour.
Still, keep in mind, we are still
That's good.
practicing.
All right. So now this works. I would recommend not using the options of sanitary. That's going to cause an increase of water temperature. I would not use any of those options. I would do express only.
This is part of.
I would not use heavy, which is a 2-hour wash, and I would not use normal, which is a 2-hour wash. I would use express wash only. That will eliminate the opportunities of the circuitry as it goes through heating the water up, speeding the motor up, slowing the motor down, and heating the water up. So it'll avoid all those little details in the integrated control. And so it's definitely an intermittent power to ground, Ohm's law.
Okay, I already know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wow, he seems pretty agitated. But do you know how many times you have been put in a situation where you have been diverted from the problem?
And right now we are at Hertz frequency 535, which is
then you can't fix the problem.
bliss. It's like
good health.
really relaxing. Prior, that was disturbing your entire household.
Details that are not
Let
shared.
me show you how we feel when we turn this on now.
I know.
Only the good stuff.
The noise.
It's a frequency of hertz of 700 and something in specific.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that irritate you.
So
Yes. And so that's what I walked into when I came in here. And I didn't want to say turn it off, because then it would sound like I was being kind of directive, and people don't like, especially now, people can't trust what anyone says. And so it's very, very, very current conditions based off of contacts of this society is volatile. And I'm seeing it daily. We're the first ones that see the changes, how it affects society too. And so I notice all these different things. But now we're nice and relaxed. We're just waiting for parts information. And so you want to definitely take that to the distributor and have a really in-depth conversation. I'm going to give you all the, which is known, YouTube and any other source connections that I have with all the reports. And so no one can lie to you. If they don't know, they need to be honest and just say, I don't know, and I'll find the answer for you. We seem to have forgotten to do that. And so, as I've done my servicing over the years, and so in specific, this particular event in current times and events, we're forgetting to tell each other just that. And they would rather just lie to you versus saying, I don't have an answer for you. Because there's no one I can tell you to call that's going to pick the phone up locally, and we don't have a brick and mortar to go to, and that's our problem. So we feel abandoned, we feel used, we feel abused, we feel like we have no options.
Mounted power
And so
source mounted down at the base of the
that's duress.
dishwasher.
That
Water gets
innocent
out
people who have to do
below
service
here.
walk into homes not knowing what
to the
I
control
know.
board at this mounted
I'm a
right
master of
here.
communications.
Then
And
yes,
so
your
the average is not going
checks
to.
of
So
a
individually, as we
vacuum
have
into
our encounters,
water leakage
just don't let that one encounter mess up your next 10.
and this is a
Because, yeah,
splash
the old
protector,
way of method of
Okay.
communication does not work anymore.
and that is wet. So that's telling me
Okay. Oh,
I know. Even though
hang on just a second, James. I'm having a really hard time with this model number. Just a second.
Stay in perfect practice. The minute you skip a step will be the time that you regret. And so,
And
even
a master of
though
a few other things,
people
too.
are more than willing to assist you, you still have to stay in your form of diagnosis. So I know there's no power applied to the dishwasher. I know.
and the breaker is not sending power to the dishwasher. So at this
Social
time,
distancing
the
means
dishwasher is
social
not getting
distancing. We should not
adequate
make
power
any
supply
unnecessary
to turn
contact
the
with each other. Liberty is just turn the dishwasher on, please. See, the dishwasher should have been on the minute I walked in. And so I know that the dishwasher being turned on, it wasn't going to turn the dishwasher back on, as you would see here. Of course, the next step would be checking the house breaker, and of course, the house breaker will then turn it on, applying power. So now I can do the next step. Yay!
Okay, David, 92-00059 George. Your cost is $155.40. Retails
power.
$239.
House circuit breaker
even.
to the dishwasher.
Why, that's a factory, James. I don't have it anywhere.
If you do not
Okay.
establish
Well, I do
power,
thank you.
Alrighty, you have a wonderful day. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
dishwasher is
Bye-bye.
not powered.
Bye now.
You know that the house is
Now
not
what-
sitting power to the dishwasher.
And here, you must always be courteous, answer all questions, and get to the point, but stay focused on the reason
So
you were there to begin with.
is hardwired into the circuitry. And so I was asked if this was an outlet, but this outlet here serviced the garbage disposal. And it's an independent line. And so the dishwasher is also on an independent line. And so this is not associated to what's causing the dishwasher to not power up. The indicator that has been measured out and also powered indicated out to be the house circuit breaker, because if there's power sitting, then you'll get an
Now, this is the
indication
chance
of
to
power
be
sitting there.
professional. This is when you get back to the point
So
of
that's
which
the
you are there
indication light
for,
I'm looking for, in which
reestablishing
indication light
issues of industry.
the dishwasher here. As you can see,
Notice here,
no
when
indicator
power
light.
was applied, the dishwasher did not go into an automatic
That's the light I'm
default,
looking for.
which would be
So
turning
I'll
on
show you
and
the difference
not able to
from earlier
push
and
any
the comparisons
touchpad
to
control.
now that she's reset the house circuit breaker, now there is power sitting on the dishwasher.
Yay! Power is applied.
Excellent.
Now it's time to get to the inside information in which people have no access to.
So now there's verification. Now there's power sitting there.
power, power. No power, power. Access of information, no access of
Indicator,
information.
power.
Access of
Indication,
information,
power.
no access of information.
Once again,
I like
indication,
access
no
of
power.
information.
Indicator,
No access of
has
information.
power.
Give me information, please. Access of information granted.
Okay, Samsung dishwasher. Now that power has been established.
Once again, stay informed and stay focused and concentrate for a specific reason.
Once power is applied.
Please, can I explain? Can I explain,
So
please?
just one moment.
Power granted.
The dishwasher is inoperative.
Okay, this is the part where you as a technician and a professional really have to understand you are contradicting what they have diligently researched.
You charge a person a certain amount of money, you cannot warranty what you charge them. So you have to make sure and be very clear that your concentration is not disturbed, because you are employed as a contractor and you need to be respected in a work environment. And so therefore you need to be very, very direct. It may appear to be a little rude sometimes, but if you charge people money, they have to give you the opportunity to do your job.
Okay.
I'm just saying, the
We
manual
can
says
just tell you
there's
what,
a leak.
Just one moment. I'm still diagnosing.
because I was here when it happened.
And I have already decided that this control board is bad.
Basically, in the back of my mind, I'm knowing that the dishwasher went into an anti-flood moment because the water had gotten down below. But that's not really the problem. The problem is that the control board is beginning to get wet and saturated. And so it's not going to be a consistent repair. She will now have another complaint less than 3 weeks because that control board down at the bottom is affected by the water that's splashing down there.
Question is,
And I know on YouTube it says that the electrodes are wet, and that is true also. But this is a type of complaint that is a design issue that cannot be resolved. I'm knowing that
discovered next.
she and he are a little upset, so I'm just taking my time so that they can have time to breathe, so that we can think, and also I can get right to the main problem, which is electronic
Key lock indicator
non-repairable
is now removed.
issue. So
Therefore,
this dishwasher
all buttons
will be replaced
should
no matter what you do
power
to
to
it.
ground, which not receiving any ground control from the main control board. So let's contact parts and see where we can.
Reliable Parts, this is Sherry. How may I help
And
you?
also,
Hi, Sherry. I
the
need to get
touchpad
a
is not affected. That's
parts
a integrated
number
interface
and
control,
location
which is working
for
just
a
fine. That's why you hear the
main control
tone.
board, Samsung dishwasher.
So
That's
the
a
main
factory,
board
James.
is
I don't
the
have it
problem.
anywhere.
Okay.
Now,
Thank you.
giving clear
Alrighty, you have a wonderful
what we
day. Have
call
a good
clear,
weekend. Thank you.
disclosure in our
Bye-bye.
industry. We are aware that the DUV chips are no longer available, and there is a chip supply shortage, which affects these supplies and replacement parts. They're not making these boards no longer because the chip that is inside these boards and all of our electronics current to date are now considered old. Our system nationwide is changing because of the DUV chips in our electronics, and we can see the effects in the industry and out in the field. And the EUV chip is what's going to be the appliances that we're going to be replacing these appliances for. And so the misunderstanding of what's going on as far as appliance repair and replacements of components and access to components and availability, that is going to be very difficult process for the next 8 months or so until these EUV chips are supplied in the new appliances. And so be aware that these components that we are replacing are still the DUV designs, which are no longer being made. Eventually this dishwasher will be forced to be replaced eventually. And so what I have been able to do is I've been able to ground out the stray voltage that was in the touchpad control.
Even though YouTube says it is a water leakage
These would not
and
allow
you're getting
me
a
to
water leakage code, but
apply
that is
any
not what's causing the problem. And if it is a water leakage code,
touchpad.
It is intermittent, which means it's going to be dried up and it's going to reoccur. It's going to dry up and reoccur. But the control board is getting wet in that process. So this dishwasher is a limit.
I do believe that this is probably going to be an intermittent issue. So you're definitely going to make sure that you are very firm and understood about these electronic issues. They're intermittent. And so the correct repair for this is to replace the control board. But unfortunately, I know that board is not going to be available, or it's going to be back ordered at the manufacturer's level, which is going to take about 3 to 4 weeks. No one's going to wait that long. They're going to be irritated, they're going to be upset, and they're going to be extremely not understanding what's going on. So it's our job as excellence in our industry to explain these things as best as we can. Shortage because of DUV, electronic upgrade, and
only after it shuts down from indicating a wet electrode, then it cannot receive any controls because it completely shuts down.
So this would be considered intermittent. So would you charge full price? No, you would not charge full price for something like this because you couldn't guarantee it. So this would be something more or less of an instructional diagnosis with regards to changes in the industry, because this dishwasher is going to be replaced because the parts are not going to be available, unfortunately. But if you can, and if you're willing to wait, if you can get another year out of it with a new board, remember that board has been sitting around for a while, or however long you have had your appliance. That's how long these electronics have been shelved, and they are going to fail. When they fail, you're going to have to replace your appliance, and that's just the bottom line. We have to exhaust our supplies, and so that the new appliances can replace those old appliances. And so these DUV chips are not available. Thank you. DUV chip manufacturer is not providing parts as explained. And that's the process. That's what you're going to run into when we want to resolve these problems. And unfortunately, we're just that type of people who won't give up, and we will fight because we're used to what we're used to. We have no one to contact. We have no one to talk to. There's no manufacturer, so we have to accept what we've done to ourselves. So stop taking it out on each other. Do your due diligence research. Service providers are supposed to provide information that is accurate and true. If you don't know, be honest. Just say you don't know and you will find out the answer. People will appreciate that more so than to, if they have to engage to fix their problem, you're going to have a problem. So you want to stop that problem before it occurs. You're the professional. Remember, we all have our jobs to do.